DreAllDay.com.
Before we start, please like and comment on this video so I can get your feedback. Also, click that subscribe button so you can get all the new content I'm dropping on this channel. And the free book, the mental handbook, physical book, Work on Your Game University, just take care of the shipping and handling, send this right to your doorstep. Let's get started. What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today we are back with the NBA 2017 season previews. We are talking about the Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trailblazers went 44-38 this past season. Played Golden State in the first round. Tried, but could not defeat the Golden State Warriors in the first round, even though Steph Curry missed a game or two in that series. But this team is a team on the rise. I think looking at what they did last year, just their position in the division alone, they came in second in the division, 11 games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, who lost Kevin Durant, who's one of the top 5 players in the world. So I think Oklahoma City is going to win fewer than 55 games this upcoming year, which means Portland Trailblazers, this division, this Northwest division in the NBA, why they have all these divisions, I don't know, but this division is ripe for the taking for the Portland Trailblazers. They can win this division. They were only 4 games up on Utah, and I think Minnesota's going to improve a lot, but not by 15 games that they were behind Portland last year. So I think Portland's going to win the Northwest Division this upcoming season. Now, how much that actually matters to the overall success of the season is not much, but let's look at the team that they have and see what changes have been made and what we think about this roster that they got. Coach Terry Stotts has worked very well with this roster. Portland's done a great job, their front office, of putting together the right type of team around these guys, despite the fact that they lost a superstar in LaMarcus Aldridge last summer. But looking at who they have here, let's look at who they've actually added. Let me see if I can point out anyone they've added. They added Festus Ezeli, who's a great backup in a pinch big man who should play somewhere around 10 to 13 minutes per game. If he's doing that, he can be effective. You don't want Festus Ezeli as your starter. You're not forcing the ball inside to him. You're not running any plays for him. But you can use him as an energy guy. He definitely can be that. Just looking at the young guys they have, just looking at this roster overall, not even just the new guys, but just the young guys. Al-Farouq Aminu seemed like he's been in the league for a long time. He's only 25 years old. Allen Crabbe is 24. He just signed a nice extension to stay in Portland. That's great for Allen Crabbe. Who else? Festus Ezeli is only 26. Ed Davis is 27. Mo Harkless is only 23. Chris Kamen's the veteran, center at 34 years old. Myers Leonard's 24. Damian Lillard is 26. CJ McCollum is 24. Shabazz Napier, he's bounced around a lot in the league. I expected him to be at a more like a solid rotation player on a team, but he's bounced around a lot. But I think eventually he will find a home. Who knows if it's going to be Portland or it'll be somewhere else. But he keeps getting opportunities, which means he does have the game. It's just a matter of finding the right fit. Shabazz Napier is 25. Mason Plumlee is 26. That's the good Plumlee. That's the best Plumlee of the 3. Noah Vonleh is 21. They signed Evan Turner, who's 27. And Evan Turner is a good pickup for this team because he'll fit on this roster. He can fit into what they have going on. He's not going to mess up the chemistry that they have there on the court or even off the court, I don't think. This team is super, super young. Super young, but not so young that there isn't any direction or leadership here, because you got some leaders here and a guy like Damian Lillard, who's 26. He's been in the league for a few years now. He's established himself as an all-star. He won Rookie of the Year. He's a highly respected guy who can go with any point guard in the NBA, Damian Lillard. He can definitely go bucket for bucket. CJ McCollum, another guy who last year, was he most improved player last year? I don't know if he actually won it. But whether he won it or not, he was damn improved from the previous season. CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard together in a backcourt is one of the toughest backcourts in the NBA. I think we all can agree. And they are what this team goes off of. This team goes as that backcourt goes. And then they have guys around them like a Mason Plumlee. Now you got a guy like Evan Turner who can hit that corner 3. He can create a shot every now and then in a pinch when you need it. You got the athletic bigs and like a Noah Vonleh and Myers Leonard. These guys, Mo Harkless, who's a forward. He can play both forward positions. Allen Crabbe coming off the bench as a guard. Al-Farouq Aminu, another athletic 3-man who can get to the rim and score some points. I think he can knock down that outside 3-point shot. Super young team. Nobody over the age of 27 except for Chris Kaman, who is 34. Chris Kaman is 34. Nobody else on the team is over the age of 27, and that would be Ed Davis and the kid, Evan Turner. Wow. this is a great situation that Portland has here. And if they can keep this whole team together, if this ends up being the team, they got a couple other young guys who I don't know of who may not make the final roster. But they can keep this together, maintain the chemistry here. As players get better, players are going to want more opportunities. They're going to want the ball more. They're going to want more minutes. I don't think everybody here is going to be around when everyone's around 30 years old. But I think if they can keep this core, which is Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, I think those two guys are definitely the core. I think Allen Crabbe, you would have to consider him core since they just paid him. And he's going to make $18.5 million this year. I guess you got to consider that guy core. CJ McCollum, he just got paid as well. And then you look at, I would say you look at someone like, I guess Evan Turner would be part of the core. They just signed him. Mason Plumlee, I believe, is a core player you keep around. Allen Crabbe, I mentioned already. Ed Davis is another. And I think Mo Harkless would be another. Maybe even you throw Myers Leonard in there. This is, wow, they got is an embarrassment of young talent that the Portland Trailblazers have. When I say embarrassment, that's in a good way, not in a bad way. Terry Stotts, great coach. I think this team, the only direction for this team to go is up with this roster. What are they going to do this year? We already talked about all the players that they have. What are they going to do this season? They don't have the OKC Thunder in front of them in their division. They should win the division. I believe they can get a top, I think Portland, looking at the Western Conference, you got San Antonio. Of course, you have Golden State. Oklahoma City is not going to be as potent this year, minus Kevin Durant. I think the Portland Trailblazers, you got the LA Clippers, who are they're always going to be competitive because they got the talent, they got the players. I think the Portland Trailblazers can finish in the top 3 in the Western Conference. I don't see a reason why they couldn't. Last year, you had Golden State, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and the Clippers. And then Portland was the next after that. And Portland beat. So they did get to the second round. They beat the Clippers when Chris Paul broke his hand. The Clippers would have won that series. Chris Paul broke his hand, then they beat the Clippers, and then they went on to play Golden State. Golden State beat them. I think Portland can finish with a better record than the Clippers this year if the Clippers don't make any other moves, and we'll talk about that when we get to the Clippers. And Oklahoma City's going to fall on their own. So Portland's definitely going to have home court advantage in the first round as long as they are healthy throughout the season. Every prediction I'm making is based on health throughout the season. And we know every team's not going to be healthy throughout the season, so something's going to change. Some wrench is going to get thrown into every plan here. And I see Portland winning a playoff series again. I see them getting to the second round of the playoffs again, which they've done a couple times. They did it when they beat Houston, back when LaMarcus Aldridge was on the team. They did it last year, beating the Clippers, albeit it was without Chris Paul. They would have lost in the first round if Chris Paul was playing. But they did get to the second round, whatever weight you want to give that. I think next year, this season we're talking about, they will get to the second round on their own merits. It's not going to have to be an injury that helps them get to the second round like it was last year. Can they win a second round playoff series? In the second round, they'd be looking at playing a team like the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio Spurs. Man, can Portland beat? Now with the San Antonio Spurs, minus Tim Duncan, I think the Spurs are a beatable team. I think they are beatable in a playoff series by a team like Portland. If this team gels over 82 games and they get to the second round of the playoffs and they're playing against a team like the Spurs can be beaten by the Portland Trailblazers. I think the Portland Trailblazers very well could get to the conference finals in the West this upcoming season. Everyone healthy, all these young guys, all this talent, great coaching staff, the franchise is stabilized. I think they can get to the Western Conference Finals. I really believe everything works out right. No catastrophic injuries. They do it this year, Western Conference Finals. I think they're going to have to probably, if Golden State gets the number 1 seed, that means Portland needs to get a number 3 seed to avoid having to play Golden State in the second round. So if they get a 4 or 5 seed and they win, then they got to play that 1 seed in the second round. This is all giving Golden State. This is assuming Golden State gets the number 1 seed, which we'll talk about when we get to Golden State, and also assuming that Golden State wins in the first round as well. And again, we're not going to just guarantee that they're going to do these things. This is just what I think. But if all of that happens, Portland, I think, can get to the Western Conference Finals and challenge Golden State for the Western Conference title. Can they beat Golden State? Looking at Golden State's roster and Portland's roster in a 7-game series, I would have to say no. They would not win the series, but they can compete. And if you're in the Western Conference Finals, you can compete. Even if you get swept, I mean, you can compete. Doesn't mean you will, but you can. So that's what I think about the Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trailblazer fans, Damian Lillard fans, CJ McCollum fans, whoever you're a fan of, even if you hate the Trailblazers, you're a fan of basketball, let me know what you think about this. What do you think Portland's going to do this year? Looking at their roster, if you haven't looked at their roster, look. They got all these young guys. Man, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's a great place to be in with this team, and it's not going to last forever because people get older every day. So what do you think? Questions, comments, concerns, praise, criticisms, leave them down there in the comments. Next video, we are going to go back to the Eastern Conference, and we're going to talk about the Indiana Pacers. Everybody, work on your game. DreAllDay.com.